What's up, team? No time to fool around. Look at this first chart. The single most important thing in music, the foundation to the house, the bones to your playing, triads, 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 triads. You guys know I preach triads like crazy because they're sophisticated. They make you learn the notes on the neck. They make you learn theory, and they sound amazing. So if you look right here, you see we got an open G chord. We're going to do a 4-chord progression with triads, and the open chords is home base, so don't worry, okay? The ebook is linked below. Grab it. Now, the open chord G's in pink, and then I have 3 triads in green, and the triads are G. The top left, I wrote the formula for the triad. You need to burn that in your brain. GBD, 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 okay? So the open G chord, which is in pink, is always home base. Cowboy chords are great. Now we're gonna get a little more sophisticated. We're gonna go deeper with our playing. So the first triad I want you to see is the GBD on the DGB string set. GBD. See that? Shape. You gotta learn these. You have to know them. There's 12 major minor triads, 3 per string set, 4 string set. This is the string set right here, DGB. I made a playlist, which I'll link. I don't have these clean fancy charts. I'm gonna remake it for you guys, all 12 major minor, and you definitely wanna know these. If you learn all these, your playing is gonna skyrocket. I know, skyrocket, all right? So GBD, okay? And then we're gonna do this hard one, okay? These are just 3 G major triads. There's 12, all right? GBD, look at that shape. So the G up here on the 10th fret, BD. So you're going in order of 1, 3, 5, GBD, 1, 3, 5, okay? And then this is a great one. Up here on the 12th fret, you got the G and B on the G, B, and then the high E got the D. So you got that right there. So one exercise you can do before we move to the next chart is you could do like G open chord. Always go back home to the open chord. So let's do the open chord, run all 3 triads, and this creates rhythmic flow too, okay? So G, 2 triad, back to open chord, 2 triad, open chord, way up here, back to there. So you see, the reason I'm actually showing you this shape here too, where you're using your 3rd and 4th finger, these get neglected so much, okay? You want to build up this shape. I actually learned this shape, if you ever look at the Under the Bridge guitar intro, you guys will know what I'm talking about, how Frusciante does that. And it's all the same stuff. Cage system, triads, scales, it all overlaps. I want you to have those light bulb moments, okay? So just practice the triads, okay? And then I'll show you some frameworks for how to play. Let's go to the next chart. Whoop! So the second chord in the progression is a D major chord. So if you look in the top left, very simple, D, F sharp, A. I kept these charts really clean, but again, here's your D open chord, okay? The good old cowboy chords. Now, a lot of you, some of you are stuck right now. I know you've never ventured outside of this, or maybe you're trying to struggle to get a D bar chord up here, or you're playing the D5 chord here, but we want to be a more sophisticated player. We need a lot of bones to hold up this guitar playing, right? So if you look, now these overlap a little bit. These next 3 charts are technically going to have 4 triads, but let me show you the first 3 and I'll just show you where the overlap is. So let's look at right here the D, F sharp, A on the G, B, E, high E string set. So you see that? See the same thing. You have this shape and you need to connect the dots. You need the light bulb moments of these. Oh, that's a shape. It's all just shapes. That's it. It's just like being a little kid when you're learning shapes in school. Same thing. D, F sharp, A, okay? Now let's move up here to the 10th fret, D, F sharp, A. This is on the E, A, D string set. So look, D, F sharp, A, okay? There's that one. And then you've got up here on the 12th fret, the D, F sharp, A on the G, on the DGB string set. See that? D, F sharp, A. Now the bonus one is if you go to, just because the way I wrote them out, they overlap. I could have color coded it different, but you guys are smart, you're gonna get this. You see that bar on the 7th fret? So you see A, D, F sharp. That's an inversion. That's a triad inversion. So you have the 5th in the bass, the lowest fundamental note. So that's a 2nd inversion D major triad. So there's your little bonus. So same thing. Let's just do this. This could be all you do today. Just pick one of these charts. Again, if you're new here, you guys know I tell you, I'm just giving you the framework. You can take any of these and turn them into your own practice exercises. You don't have to do everything. So D to this D triad. Open D to this triad. Back to open D to this triad. And then back to open D. Okay, bonus triad. Okay, so this is actually, when you see guitar players that are flowing around the fretboard, I'm going to go out on a limb and say many of them know all these triad shapes and they're using that to flow between everything, okay? So there's just so much information here, but if I can get you just to see some of these triad shapes, it's going to help you so much. And the shapes don't change. They just move to different keys. Again, watch my playlist at the end. I will remake them with these new charts, okay? So go to the next one. Whoop! Okay, E minor. So E minor, which would be the 6th chord for you theory buffs in the key of G major. Relative minor. So here's your good old E minor cowboy chord, right? Beautiful in pink, okay? Now I'm going to give you 2 of the same shapes with E minor on the A, D, G string set and on the E, I, D string set, because I think it's real. So here's the first one. So that pinky, remember, don't neglect that pinky right here. E, G, B, okay? Same thing, and look in the top left of the chart. Just say that a bunch of times. Burn it. E, G, B, E, G, B, E, G, B, E minor triad, E, G, B, okay? So E, G, B. Again, this is how you learn your fretboard too. I don't want you just to do E, 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 E. I want you to go E, G, B, E, 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 G, B, okay? That's an awkward shape too, because look at the spread between your 3rd and 4th finger, because we're going from root to minor 3rd, okay? And then there's the 5B. Now go all the way, let's go all the way up to the 12th fret, because let's just stay on the shape. Same thing, E, I, D strings, E, G, B, okay? You could practice just going back and forth, taking that shape and going like this, even without picking it, so. Okay, and then the 3rd triad is right here on the G, B, high E. Look, this is a shape too, E, G, B. And this one has a bonus 4 one too, right here, G, B, E. That's an inversion triad, okay? So right here, see that, G, B, E? It has the 3rd in the bass, the lowest fundamental, so that's a 1st inversion triad. That's my brain's twisting me out. You guys can call me out if I get something wrong, okay? So same thing, let's go open chord, let's just run through the triads, okay? So the first one I'll do with the root here on the 7th fret, and then I'll go up to that 12th fret, root, same thing, and then I'll go to this one, and maybe I'll try the bonus one, okay? You're gonna wanna know all 12, again, I'll link that playlist at the end and I will remake this, okay? Open chord to triad. Open chord to triad. Open chord to triad. Open chord to bonus. Oops, Shank, let's do that again. Okay, there you go. So just run through it, and if you mess up like that, just keep going. I told you I wouldn't take out any mistakes, all right? Now let's go to the last chord progression, the chord in the progression, which would be the 4 chord, G, B, okay? G, A, B, C, 4, okay? And we're gonna do the open C. There's your pink cowboy chord, okay? Now you notice I'm muting out the low E. You could get that in there, but I want C, okay? Now, the first triad I wanna do here, same thing, we got some overlap. You see that bar on the 5th fret? That will be the last thing I explain, but C, E, G on the G, B, high E string, okay? So you see, C, E, G. Now I've given you this shape like 3 times. I gave it to you on the G, I gave it to you on the C. I don't know, maybe this is the 2nd time, okay? But C, E, G, there's that one. Now let's go up to the 8th fret. You see right there on the E, A, D string set. I'm referring to the open strings. C, E, G, another tricky shape. C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G. You could sit there and just get that shape. Just go, take it off. It's very awkward feeling until you start to get the flow of it. It's all just muscle memory. And then let's go up here on the 10th fret, C, E, G. You know that shape. We did that one for the D, we did that one for the G, okay? But here it is, C, E, G. See how beautiful those are? How sophisticated, how pretty they sound? They're stripped down versions, okay? So, and then the bonus one, another inversion triad. Right here on the 5th fret, you see that G, C, E, okay? And that's what you guys gotta see. Here's a light bulb moment for you. As you can see, there is a triad, an inverted C major triad connecting to 1, 3, 5 triads. This one, and then here's your inverted triad, G, C, E, 2nd inversion, because it has G as the lowest fundamental, and then this one. You could do that. That's a great exercise. Watch. C triad, inverted C triad, C triad, inverted C triad, back to this one, back to the open chord. Okay, so you have all these charts First thing you got to do is put in the work and learn. Just learn these shapes, okay? Just take one chart. Some of you are going to have stuff you didn't have before this lesson. Now, I'm going to kind of get rid of the pick too. I like to do a lot of finger picking. Let's see if I can create a chord progression using just the triads. So I'm not even going to go to the open chords, okay? Now you're going to mix these up. That's how you're going to do it, what works for you, all right? So you don't have to do what I do. So I think I'll take this G triad, okay? No charts here, so just triad here, G, C, G, B, D. And then I think for the for the D, I will do, I'll do this one, okay? D, F sharp, A. So we got G, like this. D. And for E minor, I'm just gonna slide up here. And then for C, I'll do this shape right here, which was like the G, okay? Listen, the more work you put into triads, the more you're gonna keep having light bulb moments, how they connect. And I'm not just showing you stuff that I do here in the bedroom or in my little studio. This is actually what I do in my band. So the next time I shoot one of the behind the band things, I'll try and talk about that. I use these triad shapes all the time to come up with different chord voicings, different flavors, different moods. Every one has a different vibe to it, okay? So let's do the E minor like that, and then let's go to C here. So here's kind of what it would sound like. G, okay? D, E minor, C. Okay, so that was just one way, and then we could mix it up totally different. What if I did, let's just do one more, and then I want to let you just run with this. Grab the ebook, it's really good. Burn these triads in your brains, create your own, you got to create your own system. I can show you 1,000 different ways, but you need to create what works for you, because we all see it differently. Let's do one where everything's kind of in close proximity, and everything I'm showing you is in this ebook, okay? And there's so many more triads. Watch the playlist again. All right, now, let's try G here. Okay, this is a G triad. Okay, G major, G, B, D. And then I think you know what we should do? G here. And then I'll just go right above it. That D triad. So boot, G, D. And then I'll do this E minor one. I just did that one, E minor. And then I'll do C right there. Okay? Now this is great too, because you're moving between different string sets. I could have given you all 4 triads or all 3 triads on one string set, but I want you to be able to move around. I want you to have like a circular flow, build up some like differentiated repetition. Is that a word? So G, D, E minor, C. Okay, there you go. Now there's endless combinations I can do here. You come up with your own. Let me know how it goes. The charts are all in the ebook, but just try and learn one of them. If you're a beginner, just learn one new triad. Maybe you don't even know what a triad is. Now you do. It's the 1, 3, 5. It's in the top left of every chart. Okay, you guys keep going. Again, I think triads are the most important thing in music. They just are. They create rhythmic flow. They're sophisticated. They help you build an understanding of how these chords are made. Everything is derived from the major scale. That's your blueprint for everything. You build triads at it. Again, we'll just keep this train rolling. Drop Jellyfish or your favorite sea creature in the comments. Definitely drop where you're watching this video from. And I love you guys that are from different countries. Somebody taught me, I can't remember, but one of you dropped how to say octopus in Italian. So if you're watching from another country, you speak another language, drop your sea creature in English and then tell us how to say it in your native tongue. All right. You guys are amazing. Don't stop. Only you can stop you. So you're not going to stop. You're going to keep going. Hit that like button. If you're new, we'd love to keep you. Lots more to come. Keep going. Peace.